Some people celebrate Festivus.
Hey, will somebody get my daddy his champagne?
Hey, and see.
So this podcast is going to be just a little different.
It's true. Different.
Yeah. So we took it on the road to my family's home in Danville, Virginia. And we basically just asked different members of my family what they liked about Thanksgiving and to share a Thanksgiving memory. And yeah, it was super good.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. It's a little different.
It was.
Trying something new.
Yep.
Also, we were trying some new equipment. I think it was good.
Taking it on the road, man. We have a
Mobile.
Zoom H6. Woo!
Have Zoom H6 will travel.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I had a good Thanksgiving.
I always have a good Thanksgiving.
That's a good way to represent power to thanks.
Yes.
To thanks. What are you especially thankful for this year?
Gosh, what am I thankful for? I'm thankful for my family. I mean, I think, we lost Uncle Jerry this year. And my sister-in-law lost her dad this past year. So just everybody being around, I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful for the memories I had with Uncle Jerry and Dr. Choi. So whenever I can spend time with family members that I don't get to see very often, I absolutely cherish them.
That's good.
How about you? What are you thankful for this year?
Well, I'm thankful that we have a new house.
Yeah, we moved.
I'm thankful I didn't kill myself trying to get the leaves out of the gutters.
Oh yeah, you did a great job. I was like losing all feeling in my legs watching you go up on the roof.
Speaking of Uncle Jerry, I'm thankful that we have such a great kid that when he went to school and learned about Day of the Dead, he immediately thought about Uncle Jerry, and as do the ofrenda for Uncle Jerry. So that was great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad we have two healthy kids who are energetic, to say the least. I'm thankful for you.
Thank you. I'm thankful for you too, honey.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Enjoy the Jackson Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We're live.
We don't really know what to say.
Does
Phil.
Barbara and Daddy, are they coming in?
Yeah, they're all.
Okay.
Well, we were just going to talk about, what were we going to talk about? Our first memories of Thanksgiving with Daddy cooking
Yes.
turkey.
Yes.
Papa
And how
cooked?
early. Well, he didn't cook very much.
Well,
But
he was.
Thanksgiving, he was
He
cooking.
was a cook in the
That's
army.
exactly right.
He was.
So I bet
But
he
we
was like,
would
I don't
have
want
to
to
get
cook.
up at like, what was it, 2 o'clock?
Oh,
in the
sometimes the
morning.
process would start the day before.
Oh, yeah.
And run out to the toolbox and get those the pairs of pliers. So,
Pull those leaders out of the turkey.
we don't know if they were tendons or ligaments, but they were coming out of the little turkey's
Yes.
foot.
I know.
And no,
Or turkeys.
and that was supposed to.
Us, what about
Y'all were put to work at 2 a.m. So what else did he
Because
cook?
thought
So he
that
cooked a
you
turkey?
had to cook the turkey that long, and it was always delicious.
It was.
I mean, it was.
It was.
Fabulous.
Now, when he was a cook in the army, somehow they decided that it was better to cook it breast side down
Oh,
because theoretically the juices flowed towards the breast. But the breast side up, the steam and everything goes up. And
Okay,
but anyway, it's good either way. I don't know how you can mess up a turkey.
I don't either.
And
Overcook it? Or undercook it.
Right.
One of those.
But
Well, what else did Papa make that you
I
remember?
don't know that he made anything. Oysters now.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did oysters. Did he roast them?
Oh no.
I remember our first experience with oysters. We were living in the basement of our grandmother's house in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and there was this huge, very, very rustic sink in the
Yeah.
kitchen that had the two spigots. Doesn't have a
Hey,
central.
my house is like that.
That's vintage plumbing. Mark.
It is.
So he gave us raw oysters
With ketchup.
with ketchup.
Ooh.
That was,
And y'all
that
lived to tell the tale.
That was before people started worrying about
Horseradish.
Vibrio
Horseradish.
Nice. That oyster.
So I remember, I don't know, it was kind of a race to the sink to spit it out, wasn't it? Between
yeah.
Barbara. Now, Barbara's 1 year older than me, so, you know.
Did great grandma still have
But I
her?
was fatter than you, remember?
But I think she
I might have made it to the sink before you
I
did.
know it. She really wanted to get rid of that thing.
Oh my gosh.
But now I love oysters, and I love them raw.
I don't like them raw.
But I'm very nervous about eating raw oysters these days. So.
There's no sink nearby.
No, it's not that. I live in the country. I can spit anywhere.
Yes.
Well, what did Meemaw make back then? That's
Everything else.
different. Like, what was you had traditional staples like mashed potatoes,
we
stuffing.
would have that and stuffing or dressing.
And she did pumpkin pies.
She did pumpkin pies. We had just regular cranberry sauce out of a can.
Oh yeah.
the
Well, that's the
jelly.
The
best,
jelly kind.
right? I don't think we started doing
Probably
that.
green beans.
You know, every
Rolls,
family family
butter.
has this.
Yeah.
You know, there are some fortunate that have this, and
Right.
then unfortunate that never get this.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So who did the prayer? Did Meemaw do the prayer? Or there was?
Probably Daddy.
Yeah, because I mean, we grew up Southern Baptist, so you know, we were all prepared to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, went really good tapped. Get a tap on the shoulder.
Real good.
Your turn.
So, anyway, but yeah, Mama did all the rest of the cooking, but Daddy did the turkey.
It was a big production.
It was. It was. Starting the night before with the pulling of the leaders. So, anyway.
That's great.
Of recent years, we were fortunate to have, you know, all of our family come out here, you know, in the last 7 years of our mother's life.
We're
Yeah.
wonderful.
We're here.
What?
But I think about all those football games with my many nephews, and the nephews were always good.
And the Sweeneys.
Oh, the Sweeneys.
And the
but, you know,
Sweeneys,
but
yes.
When the nephews were really young,
Oh yeah.
Uncle John, you be on my team. Be on my team. Uncle John can be on my team. And then it got to the point where I was the last one chosen. So, which was okay. That's the way things are supposed to evolve. But
When did we move out here? Was it 88, 89?
88, something
88,
like
yeah.
right in there. I remember one time my nephew Paul, my sister Mary's second son, was quarterbacking, and he was calling the plays, and he was giving everybody the routes to run and this, that, and the other. And he looked at me and just said, "You do whatever it is you do."
Were you like, I'm open, guys. I'm open. I'm over here. I'm open.
I'm the one that will drop the pass when it comes to me. That's what I do. So, but anyway, those are fun memories of
Yeah.
with all the boys coming out and playing football, and had very few injuries.
Yeah.
My ego got injured a few times.
Well, it
but
was
other than-
supposed to be touch, but there were a few tackles. And what I loved about it was Aunt Jenny. She was always out there.
She was.
She was the brave
out there.
soul, lone woman out
Female,
there.
Yeah.
Occasionally there would be a couple other females,
Yeah,
but
that-
she was consistent, dedicated.
That may explain why she's got back problems now.
Yeah,
but
bless her heart.
I don't think any of us have CTE as a result of it.
Oh.
No. Not yet.
But we were fortunate to get away from that without lawsuits and stuff.
Some called CPS.
So Shannon, Shannon is my younger child. She's in her 4th decade of life. I would say.
Nice to put that. Yeah, good way to.
Thanks, Dad.
Itching up on half a
wasn't-
century.
I wasn't specific about it. She's in the early
Stages.
Yeah.
stage.
I like that.
So,
Early
what are
stages.
your fond memories of Thanksgiving?
I don't have one. And what's funny to me is that no, I don't have one specific memory. I have things about
just got
each
real.
one that are just awesome.
Yeah.
Like I really miss Meemaw and Papa being here. Papa kind of holding court either at the dining room table or outside, and just everybody being around. And they would like come in and out to hear his
Are
stories.
you talking about Papa Lewis?
Papa Lewis.
Lewis,
And
yeah.
then Norma and Dr. Choi being here, and Dr. Choi, and Papa sitting out together. The Hunters coming even, but the Sweeneys
Charlie
coming.
Schwartz.
Charlie Schwartz. The Sweeneys coming for football after lunch, and we'd have a cooler of like Guinness just for them, and. It was just, it was
Spoiled. Just
such
spoiled.
a gathering place. But what's so funny to me is that I don't really remember any Thanksgiving before we lived here. What did we do? Did we go to Meemaw Lewis's? I don't remember.
I think so.
Because
Or
I
is
feel like this,
A lot of
our
times-
home is Thanksgiving.
We would show up at Ma Hardy's too.
Oh, yeah. I do
So
remember that.
my wife Marty's grandparents, Robert and Edna Hardy, better known as Ma and Pa
Ma
Hardy.
and Paul Hardy.
And and it was a small house, but
They had a big
it'd be
yard.
like a horde of people
Oh, yeah.
And
show up
food,
whenever there was food.
Yeah.
So those were fond memories too.
Yeah.
And
I do miss my Meemaws.
yeah, we sure do.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your memories.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, wait a minute. What about Phil?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
me?
Okay.
Oh, I see. So I'm outnumbered today.
Sorry.
Significantly outnumbered.
Yeah, the Jackson clan.
That's true.
Well, you've had several years with us.
I know. At first one, I felt like I was running for president.
Can you can you give us some story that's not?
Did you
painful?
kiss some babies? Do you remember kissing your first
so
baby at
the
a
first
Jackson
one,
Thanksgiving?
the first one was, I was invited to, but I declined because I had just started going out with Shannon, and I was like, I need to ease my way into that one. But yeah, the second one was definitely shaking a lot of hands. No, I don't know if there were any a lot of babies.
I moved you in. By
Yeah,
that time.
you said
living with me.
that
You
she-
had to go.
She forewarned me that you're going to meet a lot of people. And I come from a pretty small family. So, yeah, I was like, oh, my God, there's a lot of people here. Favorite Thanksgiving memory?
Do you have one from Mineral? Did y'all
Yeah.
go to Mineral?
Actually, yeah. It was like the one time, I think, was having it in Mineral. And the house is, it's kind of wrecked now. And the only time Mineral was ever the center of anything was the earthquake that happened in 2011 or something like that. But yeah, it was in his house. It was built in the 1800s, and it had one of those huge dining rooms and everything. So, it was great. It was everybody was there, and we had a big turkey and everything. So.
Wait, I think we may have somebody
We have
else get ready to
okay.
sit down.
Yeah.
All right.
And Matt and
Yeah.
Casey.
Matt,
are gonna come
Casey,
over.
Yeah.
Derek,
All right.
there's
Here.
Casey coming. That I like it.
No,
Oh.
I'm not recording it. I'm not recording it now too.
Okay,
Not recording.
just tell us when you're ready.
Well, it's been recording for a while now.
Okay, great.
All right, hold
All
on.
right.
Wait for one.
Hey, Casey and Matt. Cousin Casey, cousin
That's
Matt.
right.
Hello.
So, what is your favorite or memorable Thanksgiving?
Oh, there have been many. I
Or what do you like about Thanksgiving?
do you want to go first or?
I guess, yeah, I can talk about how it's memorable in a different way. So a few years ago, I missed Thanksgiving because I was working for a retail giant that will remain unnamed that made me work on Thanksgiving Day. And that actually happened to be Meemaw's last Thanksgiving.
Ugh.
I didn't realize that. That's hard.
So I think like years later I realized, how much I look forward to this every year. And
Casey,
Wait, hang on.
of all people, I didn't think you'd be the one to make me cry.
all right. And so just, how much I look forward to it every year and how, pretty much after that, I'm not letting that happen again. So
I thought it'd be your mama that made me cry. But it's you.
we can bring her back. We can bring her back. Yeah, she'll find a way.
Well, I'll tell everybody that's waiting to do this, Shannon.
So sweet.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So after that year, it was kind of, realizing that, I don't need to work a $11 an hour job to miss.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
That's because you've got a better job.
well,
Yeah.
both.
And you don't want to have to move back in with your
Yes.
brother.
Well, I mean, I see y'all probably more than Paul and Peter, but really, I only see them maybe once a year.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
there's another, either bad or joy, like a wedding or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's like the only
Mm-hmm.
time.
It's-
So yeah, it's totally special.
Yeah, it's like the for sure time of year that
Right.
we'll all see each
Yeah.
other.
All year.
It used to be, also Christmas, but that's kind of just changed just because of everybody having, families and spread out more. But yeah, Thanksgiving's always the one that everybody comes back for the most part. And yeah, the one that, because of that, look forward to the most. So I think, unfortunately, it took missing one
Yeah.
to kind of realize that. But yeah, there are also good memories. So, a ton of them. I think probably one of the best parts about being a lot younger is that Matt and I would go to spend the night at like Joel's house, and then we would
Play
make these
video
awful. Oh, we play video games, but we also make these awful Star Wars rip-off movies.
Oh,
That-
we need to see
But
these.
what, with the VHS camera?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
The best part was our method of teleporting when we first started, when we were younger, was to actually just kind of slowly squat down.
Nice.
But then we realized if we had one person behind the camera that hit stop,
Right.
you could move out of the frame and then
And start.
press start again, and you were just suddenly gone.
That's so
That
funny.
was
Whoa.
pretty
That's great.
amazing as
I love
young
it.
children.
You guys
but
used to make films and videos
Oh, yeah.
down in
Meemaw's.
Grandma's.
Yeah,
Meemaw's
Meemaw's
basement,
basement
and-
on Market Drive.
Yeah, in one film, you can see her throw candy down to us.
That's just one of the perks.
Was that like a poltergeist
Yeah.
moment? Yeah, love it.
Oh, man.
But,
That's great.
Yeah, and then I think it was also I don't know for sure if it was Thanksgiving, but it was I think probably a day or two before or after we were in Meemaw's basement. And she had a whole bag of were they walnuts,
Yeah.
walnuts
Yeah,
or
Probably.
from her yard.
walnuts
Yeah.
from her yard, and we just sat down there for hours while all the adults were upstairs just smashing walnuts on an anvil. And Meemaw came down and saw the mess that we had made, and she was so angry at first, and then she started laughing.
Because upstairs all the adults were doing adult things, and down in the basement all you could hear was
Yes.
like for a good hour at
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
Yeah, now your turn.
Oh,
All right, Matt's
well,
turn.
yeah, I think all those years that I spent cooking, it was hard to get off for Thanksgiving, so there were several that I missed. So kind of like Casey, it's like when you miss a couple, you realize like how important it is.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed over the years is that not being from Danville, but every time somebody asks like what are you doing for Thanksgiving, and I always say I'm going home for Thanksgiving because I am. I'm coming here, and I think like for me that's such a big part of this is home to me. And
Yeah.
I think of just all these memories, and it's almost like Thanksgiving is just. It's almost like I can't distinguish the years. It's just all like
Yeah.
this one sort of all
That's how
comes
I feel
together.
about
like,
it,
yeah.
yeah.
So
It's like just different things about it
Mhm.
that make one huge memory cloud.
Yeah.
that
exactly.
You just cherish.
Yeah, so I think of like Uncle John's, album collection, just those earlier days when it was like that was sort of like you have to be very. I mean, you still have to be careful, but but when you're a little kid, you have to be super careful about going in there. But it was just something about that space being so special, and like to him, and then to all of us too.
Oh,
I think
Roy
that's something
Orbison. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we gotta hear some Roy.
Yeah. So and I actually recently bought you know, it was long overdue, but I recently bought a record player, and that's something to me that was just part of that like special, I guess, aspect of it. It's just thinking about all those times that was like a special space, even within our, you know, place here, and even within Thanksgiving, just it being like, you know,
So
like a
you're-
ritual, you know.
You're the big brother, right?
No, I'm the
No,
middle.
he's
You're
the
I'm
middle. Jesse,
Jesse.
you
Okay.
may
I'm the
have
big
only met
physically
Jesse
brother,
at
but
Meemaw's
You're
funeral.
the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. Did you get stuck having to look after him
Oh.
during Thanksgiving?
I
No.
don't know. There was
No, they
another
got-
story we were talking about earlier where I kind of had to look after him while he was driving.
Well, it wasn't while I was driving. It was before I drove.
Oh, before you.
but-
What?
I remember. Okay, so I remember one year, the hunters that hunt on Papa's land at Thanksgiving. What, Dick and Stan? Mm-hmm. Right. So was it Dick or Stan that made strawberry wine?
Stan.
Stan. Okay. So it was less wine and more like liquor, or more like a sherry.
Strawberry vodka.
Yeah. I just remember we may have gotten into it just a smidge, and all you needed was a smidge.
Was this when we went down to the creek that night
Me, you, and Jesse?
and your dad?
I don't remember.
Hey,
Why did you go down to the creek?
don't
It
get
was.
me into
It
that.
seemed like a
Because
good
you're
idea.
country.
Okay,
There's nothing
okay.
else to do.
Yeah.
You go down to the creek and you look at this
Okay.
really amazing tree that
Yeah.
has awesome bark on it.
That was the
Like,
strawberries
that's what you
talking,
do.
huh?
The moment that
No,
that
I mean
idea
you
was
didn't need
proposed-
strawberries
Oh,
for
okay.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
We
some
call
there's
that
some pretty
the
cool
elephant
stuff.
trees.
Yes,
huge
those
oak
are
trees.
amazing. Yeah. Anyways.
So,
yeah.
so what did you have to look after him?
Oh,
Can you tell him? Can you?
Oh yeah.
it wasn't too bad. He just. Can I tell the full story?
Yeah, sure.
I don't remember when this was exactly, but I had spent the night at our cousin Joel's house, and he came and picked me up, and I think I started to tell him something that we did during the night or whatever, and I get in the car, and he's just like, shut up. And I just thought he was just telling me to shut up, as, you know, an older brother does sometimes, and then we get to the end of their driveway, or their road, and then he just opens the door and just, but after that, he was good.
When there's that much sunlight and it's that early and you have an hour and a half drive ahead of you,
Oh.
yeah, it's a lot on the head.
Oh man.
I think that was after that night when we went down to the
Yes, that might have been a
Is it
strawberry
creek.
wine
Yeah,
night.
good night. I remember
It was fun.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, I learned my lesson on Stan strawberry wine.
What? Oh, how bad were you off?
I don't remember being bad off, but I remember just like, you know, I mean, homemade stuff like that, it just hits you really quick. It's like a sherry or something, like
Yeah.
all you need is one little sip. Really.
Really, the sweet
But then
stuff.
you
It's the
have,
sweet
like,
stuff.
3
Yeah.
sips and yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So these guys are from
Sportsman
I'm from Rhoda. You know,
It's
we
terrible.
didn't. You had to drive around
Yeah.
and like have a buddy. You know, sort of party on wheels kind of deal. And was that Sun Country?
Yeah.
And I had a couple of those. Oh, that is the sickest I think I've ever been. It's been that's the sweet. Oh man.
Yeah. It's the sugar. It's the sugar's fault.
Yeah.
For sure.
I remember that was a cold Thanksgiving, and I came back.
That's
and,
probably why. It was of interest. Because you're
yeah,
cold.
exactly.
Oh,
so
good
so
job.
your dad and I, when we got back, we went to. He said we should go get some food, and I said, yeah, we should. So we went and got some plates and went back in there, and he put on an album. I don't remember which one, and then before I knew it, we were both asleep with plates of leftovers on our
Right.
laps, and, yeah. It's the last I remember that.
That's awesome. I love that.
Good Thanksgiving.
They always are.
Yeah, they
Bonfires.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the bonfires at
Yeah.
night. Alan Rowland coming over.
Sure you don't want to stay tonight?
Mooing at the moon.
Oh, yes.
Yes, the moose. Yes, mooing at cows in the distance.
I also remember when we were much younger, obviously, and I'd probably still do this, but we used to go to like some of the nearby houses on the property, and
Oh, right, the barns
yeah,
and stuff,
and
yeah.
I don't remember who, but one of the cousins convinced us that there was a witch that lived in there.
Oh, yeah. There
and
could
we
be
were
some
terrified. I think it was
spirits.
probably you actually.
Oh, maybe. Yes.
And yeah, we used to be terrified of those buildings.
Yeah,
Now-
there were a couple that were actually houses. Like
Yeah,
the one
the one
down, that one there, and then the one
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Like, people lived in
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, Peter and I went
when
through
you
there
think
one
about
time.
that, that's just like crazy because
Yeah.
there's no like bathroom
No.
in there.
Yeah, Peter and I went into that one that's kind of like far back corner. We went into that one day. That was fun and a little scary. Found some cool
Yeah.
stuff. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your memories.
Yeah.
Yes,
thank you.
thanks.
Yeah.
Now we have all kinds of material on it. All right.
Hey, Robert.
Hello.
You're my favorite nephew. You know that?
Yeah.
Don't tell the other one.
Wow. That's going to be on the internet, and Fletcher's going to hear it and be devastated.
You don't know what I'm going to say to him.
There you go.
But I do. You're my favorite nephew.
And my favorite brother, because I only have one, right?
Well, that makes it easy. You don't really have to lie about
I
that.
d-
right?
yeah.
I probably don't deserve the title, but I will gladly accept it.
Fletcher doesn't deserve the title.
He doesn't. What is it like having an older brother? Because I don't know.
I know.
They're snotty.
Oh,
I was never. Was I? Oh, I guess I was.
You know, if you
snotty,
could, if you-
snarky.
If looks
Yeah.
could translate
Exactly,
over the
there's a-
microphone,
yeah.
man, that would have
Yes.
said
This is why we have T-shirts called "Younger Siblings Rule," right, Robert?
Yeah.
Me, you, and Dash.
volume. It's well, and you and
The
Dash seem to
babies.
have a special bond. You
Oh,
love
yeah.
you love playing with Dash. Oh yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving?
My favorite thing is probably football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the football.
What do you like about the football?
I don't know, it's just fun.
Are you competitive?
Definitely not.
I thought you were going to say definitely. Do you think Fletcher's competitive?
Maybe
A little.
a tiny bit.
What about the food? What food do you love about Thanksgiving?
I like the stuffing and the pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
that's the best.
Yeah.
What about Aunt Jenny's blueberry cobbler? Do you know anything?
Oh, the
about
blueberry
yeah,
salad.
that's
Salad,
good.
salad, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
like
good.
that.
That's really good.
What about Aunt Shannon's cheese?
Those are good.
What about Aunt Shannon's Brussels sprouts?
I like Brussels sprouts.
All right, okay.
You're a 10-year-old, but you've liked Brussels sprouts since you were like 4. You always had very sophisticated taste in vegetables.
And Fletcher's never tasted a vegetable.
That's not true.
He's never liked a
I
vegetable.
made him
that
eat a
big.
little bit of my Brussels sprouts, and he said he liked them. It might be Aunt Shannon's cooking. Makes it better.
Yeah.
Because you said you didn't like guacamole, and you had mine last night, and you were like, that's so good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, good.
You don't remember the time you were at my house in Mebane, and you ate that whole bowl of guacamole, and we made it together.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember.
And I only have lemons instead of limes, and you're like, just keep it like this. This is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A tiny bit, yeah.
That's so long ago. What was that? 18 months ago?
No, it was 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years. ago.
Dad, what's
wow.
your favorite?
What's my favorite memory? Well, this might embarrass your mom, and I'm not sure I have it all correct, but it's actually before the big what we think of as Thanksgiving, which is here on Grandma and Papa's farm. Is before that, Papa Jackson used to have to work on holidays a lot at the hospital, so Shannon and Mom and I were at my mom, not your mom. So Shannon and Grandma and I were at our house on Lockett Drive, and Shannon used to sneak out of her room. So Mom and Dad had reversed the locks on her bedroom door.
Oh, now I know where
That's
you
where
got
I
that job.
learned it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was just it was just one of those little push locks, so they're real easy to pick with like a coat hanger or a toothpick or whatever. But we were getting ready to go to Meemaw Lewis's house for Thanksgiving, the three of us. And I remember this because the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade was on.
this was on Thanksgiving.
It was.
I know the story.
It was. I love the story. So
awesome.
So the Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade was on, and I at the time I loved a parade. I mean, who didn't?
Oh yeah.
And
that's what we have in common. That's a definite Meemaw Lewis
Totally.
trait.
Dad,
Yeah.
you've never taken us to a play.
I've never taken
Parade.
you to a parade.
A parade.
And "tooken" is not a word.
Taken.
There we go. Yeah. So anyway, we were in Shannon's room, and I forget what we were doing. We were like cleaning something up, and all three of us were in there, and Shannon locked the door from outside and closed it, and all three of us were inside the room. Well, no problem. We're just going to pick the lock. The problem was we didn't have anything straight and pointy because
Oh, yeah, I
all
remember this.
all the coat hangers in Shannon's closet were, because Shannon was only like 3 maybe at most, maybe 2
Were
even.
like the ball tip.
Yeah, well, they were like those plastic ones that were too big and you couldn't straighten them out, and they were too big to fit in the hole. So we were stuck in that room for it. It might have I was a kid. I mean, I couldn't have been older than 7 or 8, and at the most. And so we were stuck in that room for, it might have only been 15 minutes. I have no idea, but it felt like forever. Because I was missing the parade.
I know.
But yeah, that's my first real Thanksgiving memory. And I hope it's a Thanksgiving memory. I hope it's not a Christmas memory, because I remember it as a Thanksgiving memory. You know, our minds
Like,
our minds
wait,
are fluid.
you've
right?
conflated
Yeah.
it.
But I love that. That was such a classic kind of moment. And
Don't we
I'll
both
always
have a
remember it.
history of like locking people out of like adults out of places?
We do.
Like, yeah.
We do.
But you locked someone out. I locked us all in.
You did.
What
You're-
does that mean? I'm like, you can't leave me.
You've always been more inclusive, you know. That's one of the things I admire about Shannon now, is she's very inclusive. She wants to make sure everybody's
Right.
happy, you know.
Yes,
whereas,
inclusive.
yeah,
Thanks, dear.
I'm kind of off in my own world.
Thanks,
Speaking
brother.
of Thanksgiving and football, I have kind of like a riddle.
Oh, let's
What's
hear
your
it.
riddle?
What can you catch but you can't throw?
A cold.
Dad.
Oh,
I've got
man.
a cold. I guess, yeah. I'm that guy.
Ruiner. You ruined it. You ruined Thanksgiving,
The
too.
dad that
Thanks.
ruins the riddles.
Yeah, that was me.
you got any other jokes or riddles?
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I can't think of one now.
yeah.
Okay.
I remember. So you like football? I always was like the worst at football, and your cousins, especially cousin Jesse, was a phenomenal quarterback. And so Jesse and the Richies, the 3 Richie boys, were always kind of the football ringers. So I always played linesman, you know.
And Jesse looks like Aaron Rodgers.
He
I think.
does. He does.
He really does.
But I kind of feel bad for you guys, because there used to be some really long, awesome
Oh,
football
yeah.
games, but now those of us that used to play football are
getting
older
older.
and not as motivated to play for such a long time. But now you guys are just getting to that age
Yeah.
where I feel like, you know, with all the
And
other
getting
cousins,
started back.
Yeah, it's
We
gonna
need some
it's gonna
Sweeney
get
boys
amped
back
up.
and play.
Yeah,
Because I remember.
they were a big part of it.
Yeah.
the Sweeneys.
Yeah.
Who are they?
You
were
might not
Met
remember them. You've
Ryan.
met them, but
So it was 5 brothers, and they lived in town, and your dad knew and worked with and went to high school with Brendan.
yeah.
And then I knew Brendan from that, but also went to school with college with Darren, who's a brother, and then me and Ryan. He's my P
Stinky
because,
Ronnie.
but yeah, because we have the most in common in terms of music. And then Alan, he's in between Brendan and Darren, and he's just like the laid back one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Sean, who's the oldest, and he's just a big old hippie.
True.
Now he works for like NASA, I think, or he's a rocket scientist, something like that, something pretty amazing. But anyways, they would all come out, play football with all my boy cousins and my Aunt Jenny.
It's true. Jenny used to be fierce on the line.
You
Jenny
see
knocked
pictures,
me on my
you
butt
see,
one
she's
year.
just like, yeah. She's
Jenny
got
knocked
the-
me flat on my
she
butt.
got
one
the
year.
fierce face.
Like in that Robin Hood movie where the chicken takes out like all of those big.
Oh, the Disney Robin Hood.
Bowls.
Yeah, the
movie?
I
maid-
love that you have
lady-
that reference. That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Like that
The chicken. Yes, I
old
love
chicken
the
lady
chicken.
who's the cook.
Yeah, that's it.
Takes everyone out.
But you're 10. Let's see. Can we think about? You were probably. I don't know. What year did we start the family Thanksgiving tradition? Was it 90? 89?
88. 89. 89 probably.
89. So your brother's 13, right? And in 89, you were 13.
What's that?
Yeah, so Shannon, and when this tradition started, your Aunt Shannon was your older brother's age.
Wow.
I always try
I
to
just
think
remember
about
I
things in
held a
those
lot of
references.
babies. I was like the babysitter
Yeah.
and the cleaner and the fetcher.
For the record,
and
she's
the
only had 2
everything.
babies. But
No, but I
Yeah.
mean, I was holding a lot
You've
of,
only had
lot
two.
of, I was
she had
holding a
lots
lot
of
of
little
cousins.
Lots of little cousins.
Holding a lot of cousins.
Now those little cousins either
They're all
have
grown
kids
up.
or they're members of AARP or
No.
we're getting real old. We're
We
getting
need
old.
to get Gabby a little dog brother thingy.
We need to get our dog a little dog
Oh,
brother.
yeah, I like
I hear
this.
you.
He's trying to get another
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, you're
and-
doing it on a podcast. So it's out there.
That's right. Everybody is going to wonder. They're going to want to touch base next year at
Totally.
Thanksgiving and go, "What about the dog?
Did
you get
Robert
another dog?"
get
Did you get
another
another
dog?
dog? Did you get a second dog? No. we
What
didn't.
kind of
No,
second dog are
really.
you shooting for?
A Shih Tzu.
You want a Shih Tzu?
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I want another Coco.
So,
You want another
aw.
There can only be one.
Coco.
Cool.
Well, thank you for sharing your Thanksgiving stuff.
You're welcome.
Yeah. It's a good holiday.
Yeah.
We always come down.
Mm-hmm.
We've had to fly for the past
Forever.
many years. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've lived away for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what Matt said about, it is always home because it's kind of where your family is. It's a pretty strong family memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best. Hey, Mama.
Hey,
How's your Thanksgiving been?
it's
Good.
been great as usual.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving memory? Or most special one?
I have been extremely fortunate my entire life. When I was growing up, we went to my grandmother's.
My Hardee's.
Yes.
Your
and
mama's mama.
My mama's mama. And she had 7 children and 20-some grandchildren. And so it was always a big Thanksgiving. So it's hard to find any one memory from that period. And then after my grandparents died, we started going to my mom's house. And then when we bought our land out here, where we have Thanksgiving now and have had it for 28 years, we've had, I guess, most Thanksgivings around 30, 35 people. And,
more.
Or more. And then it's just great every year. And even when the weatherman says the weather's not going to be good, we've been fortunate and always had good weather.
I know.
I think maybe 2 or 3 years
I
it
know,
was
it's rainy.
rainy, but I mean,
Seriously.
there have been times
That's
when they were
amazing.
calling for rain, but we didn't have
I
any.
know.
So we always have good food. We always have good fun. We always have a lot of family, and it's very hard. But the one memory,
Mm-hmm.
and I might choke up a little bit, is the time that you and my sister Ruth and I and my mama
Mm-hmm.
were in the den area of the house, and Emmy Lou was playing on the stereo, and we were going to sing, and Mom said, "Oh, y'all can sing," because my mother sang in the choir her entire life. She had a beautiful voice, and I said, "Now, Mama, I can't sing," and she said, "Oh, yes, you can." And then the 3 of us started singing, and she said, "Well, maybe not." And we have a picture of that.
We might have been a lot of off key.
We were, and it was,
Each one of you
Just-
were on key, but just in different keys.
Yeah.
Something like that.
we did not have the singing voice of my mother,
Right.
for sure.
Right.
But we all have that picture, Ruth and you and I. And I think Ruth has it on her screensaver.
Yep. It's
And-
on my
and-
screensaver
yeah.
at work.
And it's just one of the best memories
It
ever.
really is.
Because
That-
no matter what, we were still the best in my mom's eyes. And I think that's what family is to us, is
You know-
somebody who you can, not be your best or not be the best in the world, and they still love you and they still care about you.
Unconditional love. Yeah, me and
And-
Lewis definitely had unconditional love for all of us.
So Thanksgiving has always been family for me.
I remember that Thanksgiving. The sweater I was wearing? It was actually yours. It was that black sweater that had like the sequin, and it was V-neck. It was very 70s. And I was wearing your dingo boots.
Oh, yeah.
And Sweeney's came out that year, and the weather was absolutely
Perfect.
perfect.
It
I
was.
do remember that Thanksgiving. I think that was the Thanksgiving when all the Sweeneys came out. Like even Alan Sweeney made it out.
Yeah, because that was when we had the
I mean, not
Sweeney-
Alan. Sean, the oldest, because he rarely.
Yeah, because he lived out in
yeah.
Colorado
Yeah.
or somewhere. But
Yeah,
they used to come for football.
all 5
games
of them were
after,
there. Yeah,
after
but
the
not
band.
not all 5 of them.
Yeah.
So I remember that year because it was all 5 of them,
If I could say something.
and I was very skinny. Yes. Say something, Robert.
So, speaking about Thanksgiving and what
Yeah.
it means to you,
Uh-huh.
Thanksgiving means food,
Uh huh.
and that's what I like about it. And
It is
I
fun, isn't it?
like after we decorated the tree for Christmas after Thanksgiving, and
Meemaw's tree.
yeah, and I played with the dog Zelly.
Uh-huh.
I think she's the most well-behaved dog in the world.
Paul and
would like
Katie's
to hear
dog.
that,
Yeah, she's a sweet dog. She was a good dog. She was a chocolate lab. She was beautiful.
Yeah, and she chased after the frisbee every single time you threw it. Her tail was always wagging. Her tongue was hanging out. And if you threw it far, but it like glided, she'd jump up and grab it. Or if you just threw it high into the air, she'd wait there and jump when it came close enough.
You love dogs, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you'll be a vet when you grow up. Maybe. Yeah, you got a new dog.
Gabby.
Gabby.
And you miss
Geraldine Jackson.
No, it's Gabby Jackson.
Oh, yes.
The Labradoodle.
Your dog is from North Carolina.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and she's
Connection,
a Labradoodle.
ANC. Yeah,
She's
love
a
it.
Labradoodle. Woohoo.
Labradoodle. So, Mama, what was like your memory in Mahardy's house? Do you have like a special food that was like back then that they don't make anymore, or they make totally differently? And
Well, we always had turnips and turnip salad.
yes,
And
we
Ruth
still have
brings
turnip
us turnip
greens.
salad, but we haven't
People
had
don't do
turnips
turnips.
very often.
Who cooked the turnips back then?
It wasn't me, so I don't really know because
Was it Mahardy?
my mom was. I mean, it was lots of brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I know my mom probably cooked.
What did
Some years.
Aunt Ethel bring every year?
Aunt
you
Ethel
know,
didn't come every year.
right on.
'Cause
Yeah, she was in
lived
D.C.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
they came at Christmas. They didn't
Yeah.
come as often for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
Phil, what's
But-
your favorite Thanksgiving
Yeah.
memory?
What about Ann Hardy? She was a cook.
Oh yeah, she did the scalloped potatoes probably.
and macaroni. Mahardy's single dish was macaroni and cheese,
Oh.
and she
She put the eggs in it.
Yeah, she'd use a dozen eggs.
Wow.
She had this huge ceramic dish that she always did the macaroni and cheese in, and she always had sharp hoop cheese from the country store.
Oh yeah, we
she-
see the hoop cheese sign when
Ah,
we
yeah.
drive here on 119. Hoop cheese for sale.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get some and try that some year.
Well, yeah.
And
We'll
Say-
give it
say
to
every
Ruth.
year,
She'll
yeah.
make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
she would put like 2 pounds of cheese. So I mean, it was not that healthy for you, I'm sure, with all the butter and
Yeah.
eggs and cheese.
Oh yeah.
But it was like
That's
a
the point.
souffle almost.
Oh yeah.
It was delicious.
So what is hoop cheese exactly?
It's how they make the cheese. It's in a round, a great big huge round, and then they put, and I don't know the material it's made out of, but it's a container that they wrap the cheese in like a cheesecloth, or sometimes it's waxed, and then they put it in this. It's like a wooden container, very thin pieces of wood. That
It's
are
like the
rounded.
rustic form of what they do in Italy with any kind of fancy like
Right.
Parmesan and stuff, but less aged,
Right,
more
right.
orange color, wherever that comes from.
Well, that's just the cheddar cheese.
Yeah, the hoop cheese.
It wasn't, like provolone or parmesan. It was
So what were you asking
cheddar.
Uncle Phil?
What's your favorite Thanksgiving memory?
I think we talked about this yesterday. Actually, I was visiting my grandparents when I was 6 or 7, I think, at their house, and it was a old house in the middle of the country near Richmond, Virginia, in a small town called Mineral, and it was a house that had been built in the 1800s, and there were some strange rumors about the Confederates had left gold there on their way after Richmond had been burned. And we were always wondering if there would actually be any Confederate gold. We never found any. But we had a huge, huge dining area. I mean, it was like a formal dining room. And yeah, it was great. That's probably like in looking back. I've had a lot of great Thanksgivings since, including these. But the ones that stick out in my mind are probably the one that I remember. You might find that later too. You get older, you have really great Thanksgivings, but there might be one that sticks out in your mind as opposed to the others for some reason.
Yeah.
How about your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Favorite Thanksgiving food?
Yeah, that's a good one, Robert. Yes. What is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Right
Might
now,
it
I'm going
be-
to say Aunt Jenny's blueberry salad.
Yes, that is.
That is really good.
Phil, you did not say my Brussels sprouts
Those-
nor my
no,
cheesecake.
He's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's in trouble.
Those,
But we love those.
I don't make those
anytime
every
she
day.
makes them,
Yeah.
not just Thanksgiving.
But I only make them for Thanksgiving.
You do some at Christmas sometimes.
Maybe.
I'm trying to help Phil out.
I just like. Well, I don't get to have that. I don't have access to the to that very much. So I get a lot of good food from Shannon. Pretty much 365 days a year.
I spoil you a little bit.
Probably.
I do
I'm worth
enjoy
it.
cooking. You are worth it, honey.
You are a marvelous cook.
Thank you, Mama. She wants a nice Christmas present, right, Robert?
No, we all think she's a good cook, don't we?
You just want her to continue cooking.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We do, because you're probably going to be taking over more and more of it.
But she does do good Christmas presents.
Oh, yes. Nice. Thank you. All right. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, brother Derek and Daddy.
Hey,
What's
Hello.
up? How's Thanksgiving been?
Oh, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving 2017 was sweet.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Weather turned out good.
Very good. Very good.
lots of good family interactions.
Yeah.
There's always good family interactions.
Love
Yeah.
seeing all those little kids, especially, Robert talked earlier about the decoration
Yes.
or the decorating of the tree out here
Yes.
at my mother's place. And just seeing all those little kids, it's just awesome. It's like you put out those Christmas ornaments, and it's like a feeding frenzy of sharks. They're just all over it, and they're just into it.
Darn, I should have asked Mama about her speeches every year and how that started.
Oh, bring her over.
Mama. Cause your speech this year was hard. It was beautiful. It was great. I mean, and something we haven't really talked about is Uncle Jerry. He's not here this year. This is my dad's sister's husband, who's been part of the family ever since I've been born. So that's over 40 years.
May I say this?
And-
He was the first white guy I ever knew personally that had an afro.
Afro, yeah.
Is that okay to say that?
Of course.
You can
Sure.
But I mean,
He had great hair.
And I had the long hair and the hippie wife and blah blah blah. And I thought I had the 8-track in my car, and I thought I was so cool. But Jerry was the cool.
Jerry was cool.
Jerry's the cool one. He was always the cool
Absolutely. He was unique. He definitely was, what is it? Walk to the beat of your own drum beat
Yeah.
or whatever. He definitely did that. He had, like the red truck. He did yoga. He
Totally.
was a jokester. He was sarcastic.
And
he was
you know
into
what?
the far
What-
side. He wasn't your typical country boy, but he was a country boy.
He was a country boy,
He was
and
all of it.
He was
it
kind
was
of
great.
like so I've gotten into like mindfulness and all of that, and I think of Jerry. Jerry's kind of my perfect example of mindfulness.
Yeah.
Is like he always was. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention, but when I think back on it, he was always just in the moment. He was always there with you, and you always felt a deep connection. You didn't feel like Jerry was trying to
Right.
put his opinions onto you. He was there to be with you in that moment. And I remember last year, 2016, helping him get into his car, and I just knew,
Yeah.
that was going to be the last time I'd see Jerry. And you don't have too many of those experiences in life where that's the last time, but just a few months later, I knew it was going to be the last time I'd see Allison's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And, so to have those two guys leave us this past year was pretty tough.
Yeah.
And I think it made me realize, not just the importance of family, because Jerry was an uncle, and Allison's dad was my father-in-law, her dad. but dads,
Yeah.
right? And I'm so
Yeah.
well. I'm grateful. I didn't expect Dad to be here on this recording. I thought he was gonna sit this one out, but I'm just so grateful to have a dad who is so present in my life, and I'm grateful to have sons that I can be a dad for. And you think about happiness and mindfulness and just being in the moment, and there are plenty of times when I get pretty down, and I'm always able to draw from this wellspring of happiness. And I have to say, it comes down to my family.
Yeah.
And just that sense of no matter how you might fail, you'll never fall.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope we can project into the future.
Absolutely.
And that drives my thought politically, socially, family-wise. Just the importance of family, wherever you find family. Some people aren't lucky like us.
Right.
They
find their family and their friends rather than in their birth.
People talk about privilege,
related family.
and and I understand. I don't think I can ever articulate what white privilege means.
Right.
Because I'm often unaware of the privileges that are just in your baseline that you don't even know about.
Absolutely.
But
Or male
yeah.
privilege. I mean, yeah.
But I know a lot of people that have difficult family lives, and
Oh, yeah.
and so if you can extrapolate from one experience to help empathize and understand with others, I have always felt that I've had family privilege.
Yeah.
Because family's never perfect, but our family has always been there. Always been there.
I had in high school. There was this girl that was a good friend of mine, Jennifer. Anyways,
Yeah.
she
that
came to
one.
my 12. We were friends when I was 12, and then in high school not so much, but more middle school. But anyways, she would tell me about her grandmother and how cold she was and wasn't very warm, and she didn't have a good relationship with her grandmother. And I was like, I was aghast because it was
I
like
couldn't even understand it.
both my grandmothers just showed me so much unconditional love.
Right.
I mean, I would get criticized from Mima Lewis on whether my hair was short and it should be long because she liked it better that way. Whatever the
But
haircut
that
I
wasn't
had.
criticism.
No,
That was encouragement.
but she loved. But you know what? She loved me when my hair was purple.
As your
Right.
mother,
It was more the length of it
Right,
that she
right.
would give me criticism on, not the color of
Right.
it. I mean, purple, teal, whatever. She loved me. She loved anybody that I brought into her house. She
Especially if they had pretty teeth.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh,
But
she
let's,
loved
let's
it.
just say what it
But
was.
I
It
was so
was
special.
It was unconditional.
It was unconditional love. And I think, my parents are awesome, but honestly, the grandparents, well, y'all showed me discipline. My grandparents showed me unconditional love.
Grandparents
right?
are special, no doubt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and
And y'all do
Y'all were
what
so
what
lucky.
y'all give that unconditional love to my sons,
Yeah.
whereas I have to be the more
Right.
bad cop,
Disciplinarian.
disciplinarian.
It's the full family.
Right.
Right. It's the full
Right.
family dynamic.
And
yeah.
I totally try to be Meemaw Lewis
Yeah.
and Meemaw Jackson and bake with them, cook with them.
Right.
Honey is a daily word
Yeah.
to both of them that definitely comes from my grandmothers.
But you know what you're articulating? What you're articulating is your family, because they were so a part of your life, have helped provide a roadmap for you.
Yeah.
Right? An emotional roadmap,
Yeah.
a frame of moral reference. And I run into people that don't have that.
Yeah.
And I'm always awestruck by the people that are able to be the first to kind of carve their way.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, we have family privilege.
do.
And I hope that I can project that into the future. Our families are smaller now than they were for our
Yeah.
parents' generation and the generation before. And Thanksgiving for us has been this broad, highly integrated, 40 people every year
Oh,
or more. And
It's wonderful.
on the horizon, I kind of wonder about, I worry.
future.
It's not even wonder. I worry that it will be next to impossible to maintain that ethic.
Yeah.
And I think we're just
People
lucky.
grow
Yeah.
and have their families.
But I think a lot of families used to be that way generations
Yes.
ago, and they lost it. And I think we're
Well,
kind of
look,
at
we're
this
here
pivotal,
now
right?
doing
But we're the
it.
pivotal generation.
Well,
we have to,
I hope
your,
we
your
can
mother and I
continue
will,
it.
will try
I
our
mean-
best to live as long as possible.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
That's
good.
Is that
And
what
you
you're wanting?
better.
you know, well,
You better.
as a kid, I always wanted y'all to outlive me, but that's weird now.
And y'all will have to come up with a plan in the meanwhile, okay?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I definitely think.
Let's adopt.
I definitely think. Hey, I'm all for it. Phil is not. Want
Don't
to
throw
give
Phil
it to
under
me.
the
No.
bus.
I keep wanting like more kids, and Phil's like, no. I
Well,
think we need to
wait a
just
minute.
like
Let's think
have-
back to yesterday.
Give the
when-
resource, you know.
When,
Focus
when
on the
Paul was
ones
loading
Yeah.
his
Yes.
children into the van, remember? 5 little precious, beautiful girls. How wonderful
No, I
are they?
think Thanksgiving is very special to us, but I think it is special to our cousins, and hopefully this will be the homestead that Daddy, you and Mama have cultivated, and you are guiding star to make people really come here
Yeah.
for at least one day out of the year. We can do this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally.
In our future, I hope so. I mean, you have made this solid base, and you've done it for so long, and y'all work so hard before, during, after. I mean, really, and you don't have a dishwasher.
Oh, yes, we do.
It's called
She's-
Allison,
yeah, where's Allison?
And Marty.
and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
help.
Yes, you did.
I washed dishes
But-
twice today.
You
I
But this is the
helped.
day
That's
after.
true.
so.
Shannon, you asked about the speech that I give every year and how did that get started? It was because of there were so many people and we needed to get their attention that the first year we started having Thanksgiving at our house. There was a stool and I just stood up on it and said, "Everybody, give me your attention," and I started talking.
I like how you take charge with that.
Well, you know me. And then I got somebody to say the blessing, and then it was expected every year
Yeah.
after that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do it. I
Yeah,
still
but it's
don't
not
want to do
rehearsed.
it.
You do it on the spot every year, and it's always beautiful, meaningful, wonderful, perfect. It is perfect.
And I always leave out stuff. So,
Well,
you know,
I-
that's
okay.
the
We all
beauty
do.
of it.
I think
Yeah, dude.
Shannon's the most likely to continue family traditions because she says if you do it once, that's cool. You do it twice, that's awesome. But if you do it a third time, it's tradition.
It is.
Right. So that's a Shannon thing.
I'm going to guilt Sweeney's right here.
How many
right now. They're
traditions
not
do y'all
So,
go through,
hearing.
Phil?
Next year, do
See,
you
that's
want
the
Yeah,
third
I'm
time
not
Phil's
a-
voted
yeah.
on.
I think it's a tradition. to make them all.
I'm not a tradition guy, I guess. Yeah.
Only
definitely.
with her permission.
Does she have to sign anything? It might be a good idea. So,
Well, what philosophical thing were you wanting to get into?
I think that was kind of
That was it?
kind of it. Yeah, I mean, I think my family experience has educated my philosophical view of the world. I think it's educated my somewhat, liberal values that I think it's important to understand where people are coming from and understand the advantages you've had. And I remember Dad studying to get the job that he had for most of our lives. Right, I remember him sitting at the table and it was time for me to go to bed and he was cracking open the books.
I was not born,
And
right?
I think you might have been about to be born. I remember Mom was pregnant with you and
Wow,
definitely
you have a memory when you
I
were
remember
like 4?
I remember living in that house.
not have
yeah.
memory.
I remember living in
And
that
that
house.
was in
yeah.
that house
Yeah,
on
the
the hill?
old homestead,
Yeah.
which is now,
Right.
fallen down and
Yeah.
been turned under. But I remember that and that was a transformative effort on his part. And you think about the direction we could have gone or the direction we went and the sacrifice people make. And
Sure.
when I hear people complain, I'm not a complainer. And I think the reason I'm not is because I have a deep feeling of respect for how lucky we are.
Yeah.
And we stand on the shoulders of the people that came before us,
Yeah.
just like they did.
and as we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we are a very, very lucky family.
Yeah.
We're not better than anybody else. We just happen to luck up on great parents, grandparents, great grandparents,
Yep.
and for whatever reason, we've been lucky enough to continue that
Right.
and to make Thanksgiving the most special holiday for our entire
Well,
family.
yes, I agree. There is a lot of luck involved, but there's also a lot of work
There is.
involved
Absolutely.
in working on relationships. And Marty said it best earlier when she was talking about her mother and her mother's acceptance of them, whether they could sing or not.
Yeah.
That pretty much
That sums it up.
it does.
Oh no!
So-
I
so
know.
you wanna
I know
close with a
also,
song now, Marty?
Wait. I also want to say there have been a lot of Thanksgivings I remember that Mama had to miss because she was working. You didn't miss
didn't.
Thanksgiving? Maybe
I've
it was
never
Christmas.
Yep.
Daddy missed Christmas.
Thanksgiving was always
it was,
off.
It was
It was the day
night
after.
of.
No, you're thinking
Thanksgiving.
of Christmas Eve.
No,
You're thinking of
there was
Christmas
Black
Eve.
Friday back
You're
then
thinking
in
of-
Party City.
Yeah, but-
I had
but
to get up
Thanksgiving you're
early.
always
I would
off.
be gone before y'all would wake up on Friday.
I
but
remember
was-
a couple times I had to go with you when I was older.
But she was never. She never worked
But
on
I never
Thanksgiving.
missed a Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Because they weren't open on Thanksgiving
Right
back
on.
then.
Yeah, back
Hospital
then,
hospital is always open
Yeah.
on
Right.
Hospital.
Thanksgiving.
Dad worked on
You missed a
Thanksgiving.
lot of Christmas.
No,
Well,
Dad-
and
Christmas
sometimes
days
before we moved out here, Dad worked on Thanksgiving often
because you were working.
And
because he
Morris
would
Columbus
get
Day.
he would trade
Yeah.
Thanksgiving
Right.
for Christmas.
there were some Thanksgivings that he missed early on
Right.
before we moved out.
You know
like
what-
when we were living on Lockett.
Yeah.
Once you folks were a little older, I always felt it was, right for me to work on Christmas, for the people who had young children.
Yeah.
So I would,
That makes
they would,
sense.
they
That's
would
really
gratefully
sweet.
trade,
Yeah.
trade that for a Thanksgiving. So
Yeah, well, don't do that
Yeah.
anymore. No more.
I could get off on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving was good.
Yep.
You know, I remember the one thing. So I love a good joke, but I always thought mother-in-law jokes were funny because I never heard, Dad complain about Meemaw or Papa Lewis complain about Ma Hardy.
Right.
Now, I heard him complain about Pa Hardy a few times. But, yeah, like I think the bigger point there is just that somehow we've always managed to accept each other's families. When we merge, like just with Allison's. I mean, I love her family as much as I love ours.
I do too.
And they love you.
And likewise.
It's mutual.
So it's that family unit that we've been very lucky to. And I agree, it's not just luck. It's there's some work. I mean, I know I drove you crazy as often as I could growing up. Go ahead.
That's what big brothers do.
It's
Right,
still
but think about
happening.
how tough you are because of me, right? No, but
No,
you,
I definitely think I got my work ethic from my mama and daddy,
Yeah.
and I think I got creativity from you guys. I think I got passion from both of you guys. I think I got love and sense of family, because it's not just my grandparents were a source of unconditional love, but the sense of the importance of going there on a Sunday when you were tired even, but you still, it was so important to go and do the holidays and be with them, like you need to show up for these things.
Yep.
You can't just blow it off. And
Many of
But,
those things
I mean,
that you
we-
talk
you-
about are
well,
bi-directional. We get a lot from you as well.
yeah,
And the symbiosis
it's important. to me.
symbiosis of it is one of the things that makes it so good.
Yeah.
it's a relationship.
It's a
That's what
relationship.
That's what they've been calling that.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
there you go.
Gosh, I guess Dr. Phil. Well, never mind. We'll.
Phil.
Yes.
Poor Phil.
I mean, you can chime in. How many Thanksgivings you have been coming? 5.
How
Yeah.
many times you-
5.
And most of those you've had the beauty of Meemaw
Yes, I have.
Jackson. You didn't get to meet Meemaw Lewis or
No, I
Papa Lewis, which I wish you did. But
Oh, Phil was all in with me while Jackson.
oh yeah,
He was.
That was a good
And
addition.
He was kind of new to the family,
She
and he
really
was
liked you.
he was all in.
It didn't take her long to like you.
Well, you and
I don't want to brag, but
Oh, go ahead.
do it.
good reason.
We've been blowing our own. Why don't you ought to blow yours a little bit?
Nah. She was an easy person to get to like and spend time with, and I just sort of took the relationship as what I had,
She
and I
was a
didn't push
music
it.
Person.
I was yep, and she and I talked a little bit of religion.
Yep.
So I think not having 4 eyes and the horns on and a tail really helped me out.
God. She probably felt real good that I found you.
It's true. It's true.
True. I guess
Yeah.
I'm thankful you found Phil.
Oh yeah, me
Phil
too.
is one heck of a guy.
Me too.
He
No,
is.
he's
He is.
Aw, shucks.
family relationship.
He
Yes.
helped me load the truck this morning.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
true. Yeah.
Bonus. Bonus.
That's a plus.
I saw you bring some dishes to Allison to wash too. That was really helpful.
Yes. I try.
Well, thank you for sharing.
It's been a good week.
It has been a good weekend. I think we might have some music coming up soon.
Sure.
Why not?
Family music.
Oh, I
can
thought
get
you meant
everybody.
Slayer.
Oh, it might be Slayer. Mama is at the piano. We don't know what she's up to. She does
Okay.
have long hair.
Musicians.
Uh-oh. Here we go. All right, we need to get everybody so we can do this. How you want to do this?
Well, it was actually, you can actually hear.
What are we doing first? Jingle bells?
Sure.
Dash, get over here. You want to sing Jingle Bells?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Here, Dash.
All right. No, you can't play it. You have to
One.
sing it.
Wait,
okay?
Grandma, you said
Grandma,
I could
you
play
tell us
Jingle
when you're
Bells.
ready.
You ready? Somebody's got to get.
Here, I'll go.
Little nose. Little sweet nose.
Yeah, you sit over here next to Papa.
Let's sing. We're gonna sing.
We're gonna sing.
All right. A one.
You ready?
A two. A 1, 2, 3.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Grandma, you're not singing.
Yeah, you gotta go faster.
You need to
Yes.
sing.
Or two ago, I thought
You
I'd
can't-
take
you're not
a
doing all that
ride.
part.
So Miss Fanny
You can't sing?
Bride was seated by my side. The horse was leaping, and misfortune seemed his lot.
We need to have
got
just
into
Derek
a
Jackson
drifted bank
sing.
and we got
Oh, that's all right.
Oh,
We're capturing it all right now.
Nice.
Okay, now we're going to do We Wish You a Merry
Okay, let's do
Christmas.
it.
all right.
You're
Ready?
not getting the
Yeah.
piano.
Speed it up a
1,
little bit.
2, 3.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Grandma, you
I
missed
messed
it
it
all.
all up. Well, we'll do it again.
That's all right. Now, what did Meemaw Lewis say?
That's it.
What did Meemaw Lewis say?
Merry
Sing or play piano.
I can't see. Can you sing it, Dash? Can you sing it? Jingle bells.